Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Today we have two great stories. Looks like somebody had a bad day if they got mixed up with an employee at the store, but things can get much worse. And our first story. Twice in one day, two shops. So this was a few years ago. I owned a condo across the street from a big box retailer that sported uniforms in the blue shirt khaki variety and a home improvement store that sported the exact same uniform. I was repainting my condo because the previous owner seemed obsessed with dark gray on every single wall. Hideous. I had one wall to go when I realized I'm out of painter's tape. I'm a bit scatterbrained and had forgotten to tape around the trim on this wall. So I'm starving as well. Off to the big box retailer I go for some quick grub, then to the home improvement store for the paint and tape. The big box retailer does have a paint department, but I had a gift card to the improvement store, so free paint, basically. I see no point in changing as I'm just coming back to do more painting, so I skedaddle over to the retailer first in my bright tie-dyed paint-splattered shirt and black sweats, also splattered in paint. I should note that I'm very accident-prone, so I basically look like I've been rolling in paint. It's in my hair, on my skin, etc. My keys are always on a bright orange lanyard with the logo for a sports team I happen to like. My pants don't have pockets, so I just hang the lanyard around my neck. This would prove to be a mistake. Now, this big box store had a restaurant in it that served subs, but I noticed some deli subs that looked just as good as the grocery section and were half price, so I'm picking out two or three. Did I mention I was starving? When I hear a humph noise behind me. Thinking someone wanted some subs, I move out of the way, then I hear an, "Oh, really?" I turn and I'm face to face with two very angry ladies. We'll call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. I will be me. I'm only taking 3. Why I felt the need to defend my purchase, I don't know. I wasn't taking all the subs, and there had to be 20 left at least. Thing 1. Where is brand of dog food I've never heard of, despite having dogs my whole life? Me. I don't know that brand, but dog food's in the back. I was trying to be helpful, but also wanted to get home. Thing 2. That's stupid. You know, and you better tell us. I'm not a big person, and honestly, I'm pretty much non-confrontational for an Irish redhead, but something in Thing 2's voice rubbed me the wrong way. Or what? Thing 1. You little B-word. Me. That's it. I do not like your tone. I do not work here. Now shut the hell up and go away. Thing 2. Bull crap. You have a lanyard. Seriously, people. I used to work for this retailer in my youth years ago. Not this store, but for the company in general, and I happen to know they give you two options, at least at the time. Policy might have changed since then, but I never see every single employee wearing a lanyard. You can, of course, have a lanyard with your name on it and an employee number and hang it from your neck. Or you can have a name tag that said basically the same thing. When I worked there, I opted for the name tag because the lanyard tended to get in the way. Even now, I don't typically wear my lanyard unless I have no place else to put it. And I didn't have a name tag on my lanyard, just a house key and a car key. Me. Don't work here. Go away. Thing 1. You have a lanyard. This is clearly getting me nowhere, and I'm still hungry, so I let the angry redhead Irish girl in me come out full force. Okay, B-word. First off, you can drop the attitude. I do not work here. You can open your damn eyes for 2 seconds and see I'm covered in paint. I'm not in uniform at all. I don't have to stand here and be belittled by some self-centered floozy and her self-righteous companion. Leave me alone. Both ladies look at me, eyes wide open and mouths hanging down so low they look like two trout gasping. I turned on my heels, paid for my food, and left. Still fuming, I headed over to the improvement store when I remembered I intended to replace the light covers and plug-in covers. My condo was an older one, and while the actual light sockets and plug-in sockets had been updated, the covers had not, and some were badly cracked and discolored. So I grabbed a small basket, put my sandwiches in it, and went to at least take a look at the light covers and such. I didn't want to go too fancy or too plain, so I bent down and peered over the options carefully, deciding to buy only 2 or 3 and see if I liked them or not. I put my top picks down into my basket when I heard another harumph behind me. Turning and looking up, I saw a tall, heavy-set man looking down at me with an unhappy, entitled grimace on his face. Here we go again. We'll call him Grump, or G for short. G. Are you actually gonna do any work or just sit there all day? Me. Still fuming from the encounter number 1. Yes, when I get home, I fully intend to finish my work. I'm going to eat, paint, maybe put these covers on, probably have a nice healthy crap. You got a problem with that? I wasn't proud of losing my cool, but I dealt with enough crap for today. I was still crouched down with the cover in my hand, so when I stood up and faced Grump, I was a bit taken back to see he was a good deal taller and bigger than I thought. I wasn't about to back down, though, and gave him the stink eye, as my mother calls it. G. How dare you talk to me that way? I pay your salary by shopping here. Me. I don't work here, so I highly doubt that. Besides, they don't pay their workers enough to deal with your bull. G turned a bright red tomato-y color and stormed off. I leave and find the paint department mostly empty, so they get me my paint and tape in a jiff. Awesome. I'm feeling a bit better and cooling off as I'm headed to the register when who should come running his mouth but G with a manager? A manager I happen to know and am close friends with, thank God. G. I want her fired. She called me, derogatory African-American slang word I refuse to either say or write. Now, I may cuss like a sailor when I'm angry, but I have never and will never use derogatory words to describe anyone's race. My mother raised me better than that, and Mr. Manager Friend knows that perfectly well. Manager. Sir, I can't fire her. She doesn't work here. I also happen to know she never called you a slang word. G. Yes, she did. Fire her. You're all thinking it. You think because I'm black you can call me a slang word. Well, Sonny, you're a slang word too. How about that? You and this stupid B word will hear from my lawyer. Considering the manager was also African American, he didn't take too kindly to G shouting that he was slang word manager. Manager, sir, leave now. I'm calling the police. You cannot talk to this young lady that way. His voice got very quiet and low. Knowing him as I do, I knew he was angrier than G by far. He doesn't have any patience for men who disrespect women. Calling him that derogatory word was bad enough, but he'll go to bat for any woman he thinks is being mistreated. I looked at manager and mumbled, I just wanted to buy paint for God's sakes. Me and my big mouth. This is when it escalated. Grump reached forward and took the paint out of my hand. My other hand was holding my basket and threw it as far as he could, which was pretty far to be honest. In a different circumstance, his throw might have been called impressive, legendary, a sight to behold. As it was, the paint lid came off and spilled everywhere. My guess was since this particular color had to be mixed to get the shade of blue I wanted, the lid hadn't been fastened down just right, but who knows. Merchandise, the floor, even a few customers who had nothing to do with the altercation, got a good covering of my beautiful, bright sky blue paint. G. Buy your damn paint now, B-word. Grump then proceeded to grab me by the shirt. At this point, Irish temper me faded from existence to be replaced with scared out of my wits me. I should also add, I don't like being touched. Not an anxiety per se, but I like my bubble and hate when people disrespect the bubble. Now the manager is much like me, a bit on the short side with not much muscle, but somehow, in a way I will never be able to explain, he managed to get between us, pinned Gump to the floor and had him 1, banned for life and 2, arrested. Grump was led away in cuffs, spewing vile language and cursing practically everything under the sun. Now you may think I'm silly, but once the hubbub died down, I stood looking at my beautiful paint being cleaned up by the staff, and I just cried. I know they had more, but everything just washed over me all at once. All I could think about was how wasteful it was. My manager friend got me a new can of paint, let me have it and the covers for free without using my gift card. Apologizing over and over and asking if I was okay, even offered to call my husband at work to come get me. I didn't really need my husband to come get me, so I just straightened myself up, walked home and finished my dang wall. Ate the sandwiches later. And for those of you wondering, yes, the cops did ask if I wanted to press charges, and yes, I did. You can't just grab someone and walk away scot-free, you know. I am biking, as in exercising. So this just happened not 2 hours ago, and I'm still trying to figure out how this lady gets through life. I live in an area where there aren't many bike paths, but 10 miles away is a huge park owned and operated by the city. I wear a rather plain-looking cyclist exercise shirt and monocolored shorts. To complete the look, I have a Camelback water backpack, helmet, and Oakley-style racing sunglasses. Basically, I look like I'm taking my biking hobby seriously. I finished my hour-long workout and was heading back to my car with the bike rack in the lot up ahead. I got a phone call from my friend and decided to answer. Rather than hearing air rush through the mic, I pull over and talk through my earpiece. As this is a Saturday, the park was full of sports enthusiasts and families watching their little ones play on the fields. I'm not actually looking at anyone passing by, but I see a soccer mom walk up near me and stand to look at me not 3 feet away. Wow, huge path we're on and she stands right next to me. I'm still on my bike and she starts to wave to get my attention as I'm clearly attempting to ignore her while conversing with my friend. My first reaction is to look around and see if it's something I should be alerted to or be made aware of. Yeah, hello, excuse me, over here. Yeah, sorry, hold on, I notify my friend. Yeah? I just want to let you know that the ladies' restroom over on Field 4 is filthy. Can you get one of your... First off, I don't work. She completely interrupts me with the resting bee face look. Hey, don't interrupt me. I'm completely stunned. My buddy just heard it and said in my earpiece, the F? She continues, just call maintenance team over and have them clean it up. Field 4, got it? I'm literally in shock. I wish I could have thought of a comeback. I wish I could have had a snappy retort, but I settled for this reply. I am biking, as in exercising. I don't work here. Don't give me that. At this point, her 12-year-old son was urgently pulling on his mom's arms to keep moving, embarrassed beyond words as passers-by were stopping to stare. I've seen you here enough times. Yeah, to exercise? Jesus, lady, lose the attitude. One of the passers-by started to chuckle and another gasped at my raised voice and language. It's a family park after all. I'm fairly certain she realized her mistake but played it off as she needed to get going. I barely recognized she had curtailed and hoofed it away as I was trying to calm down the gasper while trying to explain the situation that just happened to my buddy over the phone. I always thought the resting bee face was just a meme stereotype. Now I know they do exist. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.